Hi, it's Jacob. We got our education update colleges for last week in April. I'm seeing a lot of statements from colleges that say, hey, we're totally open in the fall. Probably, seriously, for real, you guys just send in your deposits. One university president called this posturing, and that's a pretty strong word, but I don't think it's strong enough. I think these colleges are lying. Any school that says with a degree of certainty that they're going to be able to resume on campus classes in the fall is lying to you. And while a couple have gone so far as to say it bluntly and without equivocation, like Radford University, irresponsibly, others have hedged it with vague and impractical solutions like, we're just going to segregate students by age and vulnerability, as though that were practical on the majority of college campuses. So is it possible your school will be back to normal in the fall? Sure, absolutely. But it does seem less likely as time goes on. And no one can predict what the fall is going to look like with any certainty. In fact, there's about 15 scenarios out there now about how education may look like come fall semester. And I think it's fine for colleges to say, hey, we intend to reopen. We plan to do this. The problem is when you load up the statement with language that's overwhelmingly certain and reasonably optimistic, it's misleading. So why are they lying to you? It's money. It's looking more and more and more and more like colleges are going to be way short of students in the fall. Some say that if you look at it as a population, we're going to be down 20% in undergrads. So a lot of colleges and colleges as a population are in a real tough spot. It's dangerous for a college to be under enrolled because many colleges live paycheck to paycheck. And I've seen odd things already. I've seen a lot of my students coming off of wait lists at extremely selective universities where that's really statistically impossible, and not impossible, but improbable this late in the year. And if you look at the numbers, the leading indicators, they're really grim. 12% of students who place a deposit no longer plan on attending a four-year university. These are people that already put money down. Now, colleges do expect some of this, 10 to 20% loss over the summer. It's called summer melt. But this is May 1st, and we're already over that bottom line number. And more than 10% of current students say that they will not be returning. And students don't want to pay full price for online stuff. Now, if it goes back to normal, you'll have a bounce back, but we'll see how much that is. In general, people are expecting the economy to be bad. So Americans are increasingly looking for a direct turn on the dollar. And colleges have been losing the credibility that they provide a direct financial benefit for their cost over the last decade or two. It's also a class issue. A lot of people see a college degree as a minimum door price for admission in the professional class. And I think that in times of turmoil, population's social perceptions change. Just like the GI Bill drove college admissions after World War II, I think that this might be a catalyst to hopefully help drive us to an education system that's more practical, affordable, and accessible. We don't know exactly what colleges are going to do yet. Nobody does, once again. But I'm interested in what happens after the 1st of June because that's a big watershed date for schools. Right now, expect that they're going to be reaching out to you a lot. Don't trust them too much because what they're really trying to do is they're trying to keep their business. Organizations will act in unexpected and desperate ways when they are concerned about institutional survival. If you do see a rush of campus closures in the fall, I expect it will be a rush. We've talked about this with the as yet unmaterialized test optional stuff, that colleges will hold on. Then once it hits a certain breaking point, everybody's going to run for the exit. You actually saw this with campus closures. Over 60% of 1,400 colleges surveyed, so pretty big number, over 800 colleges, closed within a 3-day period in March all across the country. And that kind of response either requires a coordinated effort or really watching what your neighbors are doing pretty closely. And so nobody wants to be the first to act on this unless they feel really secure in their position. That's why they've been so quiet about preparing for an online semester in the fall. That's why, with the exception of a few schools like UC schools, they're not saying much about that because they're worried about losing you to somebody who's not saying that yet. So I would put more faith in an institution that's saying there's a good chance we'll be online than one that's not. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. Thanks, good luck, and stay healthy.